Hi, and welcome everyone to Ethereal Encounters Unveiled. Today we are broadcasting live on the United Public Radio Network and the UFO Paranormal Radio Network, 105.3 on the Gulf Coast and 107.7 FM in beautiful New Orleans.
Hey everybody, and good evening, and welcome to Into the Night with me, your host, Sean Kelly. Hello, Joni. Yeah, you are. I think you are earlier, honey. But I don't know. Looking out there, not to comment. Oh, you had a nice 4th of July, Joni. Well, happy 250th birthday, USA. Yes. But before I continue, okay, I need to tell you that I am being broadcast on UPR and Talk Radio 105.3 Mississippi and 107.7 New Orleans. And I want to thank Michelle DeRoche and Joe Montaldo for allowing me to give you 2 nights a week. Sunday night tonight is a 2-hour show from 8:10 to 10:10 p.m. And on Tuesday nights, 8:10 to 9:10 p.m. So you can catch me, 2 times a week. Skank hunt? Huh. Trump kick ass. I guess he did, huh? But I just want to, wish the United States 250 years. What a feat. I remember the bicentennial one back in 1976. I think I was like 13 or 14 back then. And, but to hit 250 years, what a deal. I mean, you had the Boston Tea Party, you had the American Revolution War, and a lot of people don't really look back at the Revolutionary War. They really don't. Now, I've been watching podcasts and I've been watching some YouTube stuff. And, the Revolutionary War was hardly ever mentioned, And it was a very important one because that gave us our freedom from Britain, the English. And so everybody who has the opportunity to do what they want, to believe in what they want, Trump made USA a powerful country. Now everyone takes us serious. Of course he does. But if we don't mind, dear Mr. Skankhunt, please don't talk about, politics. This isn't a political show because if you really want a good political show, you come on UPRN Talk Night News on the Flip Side with Joe Montaldo. Hey Heidi, good to see you. Thank you, hon. And back to the skank. Yeah, come on Friday. Come over and watch the show on Friday nights. Okay, go ahead. Everybody misses you. Friday nights news on the flip side, and you can talk all about Trump you want. I mean, but this show tonight isn't about Trump, so it's about America. Hey, Kara, good to see you. Hello, Sean. You're at Walmart. Okay, great, Kara. Just so you drive safely, that's all that matters. But how was everybody's Fourth of July? Got your fireworks going? Rained like hell here, but it stopped right before the fireworks started, which is good. But you know what? Pittsburgh, and I think Joni could will agree to this. Okay, um, whenever the Fourth of July came around, it rained like hell that day. Hey, brother. Hey, Michael. Good to see you, brother. Thank you for sharing this show, buddy. I appreciate it. And so the fireworks went off. I had a nice relaxation day. Did some panning gold, in the afternoon, and all of a sudden I saw the lightning and thunder and coming. And, ooh, that's one thing you don't want to do. Be in water and getting zapped by lightning. You just don't want that to happen. But it was a good, relaxing day for me. Yes, it was. Very interesting. Um, cooked dinner for my mom and a little TV and watched fireworks and I went to bed. But you know what's crazy? Hey, Mish, good to see you. And everybody in Canada, I forgot to tell you this, but happy Canada Day. I saw something last week about it, and I just want to, show my loyalty to Canada for having Canada Day because I have a lot of friends up in Canada, and I want to wish them a happy Canada Day. But back to the show, okay? Back in when this American Revolution started, we were under British rule, okay? And then it got to the point where we said, to hell with this shit. We ain't paying taxes. We don't need to be under the king's rule. And that's when the 13 original colonies started. And Pennsylvania is one of them, you know. And it was like, no, we don't want this shit. But what blew me away is that movie that just came out, Young Washington, Young George Washington, was in the British Army. I didn't get to watch the movie yet, but I'm telling you what, I was blown away when I found out that he was with the British Army. Then he went over and he started with, you know, the Patriots. Oh, welcome back, Heidi. Mish is in the room. Ah, there you go. Yes. So there's a lot of battles that happened during the Revolutionary War. There was a lot of wars back then between the French and the Indians. And I think Chief Pontiac, somehow, I don't know if he got his butt kicked by the English, I don't know. But here, close to me, we have one battlefield. It's called Bushy Run. And I have done investigations up there at Bushy Run. It's haunted. It's definitely haunted. It got a lot of ghosts on there. But you know what's the sad thing about it? You can only go to a certain part of the battlefield in order to investigate. And it's like right off when you first get there, it's not that far. You're summoning cat. That's right, Kevin ain't around. But you just, it's just like they're like any other ordinary battlefield. You know, you got your spectrals and you got your spirits, you got your ghosts, and you got the energies, just like they would in Civil War battlefields. This is funny. Z Sun, come and rise. Well, I'd be afraid Kevin popping in now, man. Y'all just beat him up. That's funny. Yeah, but that's okay. I like Kevin. But let me give you a little bit of statistics before I get into why we got freedom, why you can go out and believe what you want to believe. You can go out and not be under a ruler or under a king. You can do what you want to do. It's called freedom. It's called freedom. And a lot of people paid for their lives in order for us to get our freedom. You know, I mean, the Constitution was written. My gosh, that's like, you got to be I mean, there's like 4 years of school to learn the Constitution. But you got freedom of speech out of that Constitution. You got the right to bear arms. And a bunch of other stuff, too. Hey, Donna, good to see you. Hey, Gary, good to see you, buddy. All we need is Brian. I'm wondering where the hell he's at. Mish says our freedoms are slowly being taken away. Well, that's what's happening in some parts, or there are people out there trying to do that now in the USA, but it just does not seem to be working. They tried, but it's not working. You know, they really, you know, and it's like, what is we got here? There is approximately 25,000 guys or women died. Well, let me get my AI thingy off my phone. Mish says you can say river to the sea in one state, in Queensland, you get arrested. That's sad. That's sad, Mish. That's unbelievable. Yeah, just because of money. But approximately 50 to 100,000 combatants died during the American Revolution, with tens of thousands more casualties resulting from broader disease epidemics. Exact figures remain difficult to determine, but specific breakdowns provide a clearer picture of the human cost. And the American forces, our patriots, the total deaths was approximately 25,000. 6,800 of them were killed in action. 17 to 18,000 died of diseases in prisons, and they were on brutal British prison ships. And the British and Allied forces, their total deaths were 24,000, 1,200 killed in action, disease and combatants 23,000, including 7,500 Hessian mercenaries. But during the war, smallpox came around, and an estimated 100,000 people across North America succumbed to smallpox. But you look at the deaths, especially for the Americans, who got tired of taking the bullshit of the British, came. Now, today it is the 21st century, and I have nothing against England. I have a lot of friends who are from England. I have a lot of friends who are from Scotland, Wales, and my family comes from Ireland. Okay. And I don't have nothing against them. You know, they're good people over there. And they're going through some shit themselves. But back then, I could totally understand why the American patriots, the American people, got tired of the British rule back then. And America became free. Now, do you want to hear something really crazy? You hear about guerrilla warfare. Do you know the patriots, the American soldiers in the Revolutionary War, are the ones that invented guerrilla fighting? There was a lot of militia back then that would go around and hide, and then whenever they British, they either captured them or killed them. I don't know how people lived back then. I don't know. I mean, I can fathom it, yeah. And if I was around during that time, I'd be the same way. I'd be fighting. But it's real hard for me to comprehend what they were going through, how they were treated. Oh, and here's another little tidbit fact. Okay, do you know why tea is not taxed in the United States? Because of the Boston Tea Party. When the boys went in and threw all the teas overboard off the ship, and they never taxed tea here in America. So that's a tax-free drink, tea. But I guess all wars had a not as I don't want to call it a story. I want to call it a purpose. A purpose. And our purpose back then was we didn't want to be under the king. We wanted to be our own people. And Paul Revere galloping through the night, screaming, "The British are coming, the British are coming." He didn't have to do that, but he did. There's so many people, so many guys that went out of their way to do what they had to do to alert the people of the colonies that the British were coming. Either the British were dumb back then, or they thought they were this massive, powerful army that could just come in, and Navy, could just come in and take over the colonies. They didn't realize that we had militia. They didn't realize that we knew the ground. And they didn't realize that the Americans back then, the Patriots, had balls to stand up for what they were wanting. And they kicked the British's ass because of it. And I'd be right there with them if I was living back then. I would definitely be living it. But that has all passed. And we got our freedom. And we got a constitution. And we started to, I guess, live as free people. God only knows. I love history, and I'm not really big on the Revolutionary War as like I am with the Civil War. Okay. But 250 years ago, 6,800 patriots died so we could be free. And there's people out there that didn't want to do a damn thing this year. Our so-called, oh, I'm glad you're safe. Well, okay, stop your anxiety, Kara. You'll be all right. But our own governor here in Pennsylvania, they asked him if he was going to put, like, I think it's at the Washington Mall, where 50 states are putting, what was this? Speaking of powerful, did MAGAs join your Nazi mask wearing cowards yesterday? Who's racist? Oh my God. What does that say? Speaking of powerful, did you, MAGAs, join your Nazi mask wearing cowards yesterday? Not me, man. I ate dinner, watched a little TV, watched fireworks, and went to bed. So I did. But if you want to talk more about that, come on over to the news on the flip side. Friday nights, 10 p.m. to 1 p.m., 1 a.m. Eastern time. Come on over. Speak what you want to say. This is not a political show tonight. So, like I said, I'm going to repeat this, okay? Whoever's out there, let's just pretend it didn't happen. We can pretend all we want. But if, like I said before, if anybody ever wants to talk about Trump, MAGA, Democrats, Republicans, whatever you want politically, Friday nights, 10 p.m. to 1 a.m. News on the flip side. You can come there and you can talk all you want. Heidi, can you put that in the chat room for me, please? I appreciate it. And so it is the bottom of the hour. It is 8:33 p.m. Eastern time. And it's that time to go take a break. We'll take a little 2-minute break here, come back, and we will continue with the show.
The night has come, it's cold and losing my control. Your light is gone, and lonely darkness fill my soul. I wish that you could save me from my isolation. It's way too complicated. Let's start this conversation. Let's start this conversation. We got no relation. I have come for losing my control.
Welcome to Don't Whistle at Night podcast, where Navajo legends echo in the shadows. Darren and Dawn will guide you through the sacred fire of Native storytelling, where the old stories breathe, the unknown walks among us, and voices, long hidden, rise to be heard. And remember, don't whistle at night.
Okay, everybody, and welcome back to Into the Night with me, your host, Sean Kelly. I want to thank UPRN Talk Radio 105.3 Mississippi, 107.7 New Orleans for allowing me to give you 2 hours tonight, Sunday night, and 1 hour on Tuesday nights. The Sunday night show tonight is 8:10 to 10:10 p.m., and the Tuesday night show is from 8:10 to 9:10 p.m. Thank you for putting that up, Heidi. I appreciate it. It is, thank you. It is on Friday nights, 10 p.m. Eastern to 1 a.m. Eastern, 10 to 1 a.m. Now, since we talked and I shared my little thing about us 250 years ago, where the colonies, the patriots, freaking fought their asses off to give us some freedom, and they did. Now, as you can tell on top, it says we're going to talk about haunted battlefields, okay? Because you know I like the paranormal. So, from the Phantom Cannon Fire at Valley Forge to the Headless Horseman of Paoli, American Revolution battlefields are steeped in chilling folklore. These sites blend deep historical roots with paranormal accounts, and many hosts have official ghost tours on them, of course. All right, so the first one again is Valley Forge National Historical Park. Valley Forge is again in Pennsylvania. I mean, Pennsylvania's seen a lot of wars from the American Revolution through the Civil War. Valley Forge, Pennsylvania is infamous for the brutal, freezing winter encampment of 1777-1778, where thousands of troops died from disease and exposure. Visitors and park rangers have reported seeing spectral, emaciated soldiers wandering through the snowy woods, and the glowing outlines of tents at night. Some have also claimed to hear phantom fife and drum music drifting through the winter fog. Pretty neat, huh? I mean, just think, next year I'm retiring and I can come up and start visiting these battlefields, which I'm like, cool. I will definitely do that. Another one is the Paoli battlefield. Now, I don't want to run through these like really quick. If anybody knows anything about the Revolutionary War, please feel free to put it in the chat. We would like to hear about it. The Paoli battlefield is located in, again, Malvern, Pennsylvania, the site of the 1777 Paoli massacre. Is known for its eerie paranormal activity. During the Battle of the Clouds and the subsequent surprise attack by the British, dozens of Patriot soldiers were brutally slain. The ghost stories here range from disembodied screams and flashes of musketry in the trees to sightings of a headless horseman, believed to be one of the soldiers who lost his life in the bloody melee. So we talking Sleepy Hollow here, maybe? I don't know. But I do want to talk about Bushy Run. You know, these are just battlefields and what the paranormal activity is going on, the different ghosts and stuff like that. I know this is a 2-hour show, but I'll do my best to, try to prolong this for a while. So most of these times so far, excuse me, Valley Forge and the Paoli battlefield are east of me, close to Philadelphia, close to New Jersey. The only battlefield here clear that to me would be oh my gosh, we play a card game called Bush Rummy. But there's two places here in Pitt, especially in Pittsburgh, because you have Fort Pitt, which I'm not like 10 minutes away. And it used to be a stockade down there. That's why they call it Point State Park, where the Monongahela, the Ohio, and the Allegheny Rivers meet. And it was a big ass stronghold too. And around the rivers, there was a lot of mountains. And Mount Washington, which is a little borough up here in Pittsburgh, there's actually a statue of Washington talking to, I forget who the Native American. Hey, Sherry, good to see you, hon. I don't know. I forget who the Indian name was talking to Washington. I don't know why I want to say Pontiac, but I don't know if it was him. So Pittsburgh was really, really huge for the French and Native American one. Gary says, sorry, I got bumped off. I might have missed your reply. That's okay, Brian. Gary. And then you got Bushy Run battlefield, which is in Westmoreland County. And like I was telling at the beginning of the show, that I did investigate there a couple times. And a friend of mine, Jenny Nicasio, she went there for an investigation. In fact, I was there. I didn't really know it was her. And I think she got touched. And it freaked her out, man. She just took off running. She talks about it now and then. But where you can investigate is a log cabin. And around that log cabin, I mean, we had all our equipment out, the whole 9 yards. But we really could not get no evidence around that cabin. And we tried different parts. See, we weren't allowed to go out on the battlefield. You only had to stay in a certain area, which I think is a bunch of malarkey, I mean, I'm sure if they let us roam Bushy Run the whole part, then I'm sure we would get a lot more evidence. But when I was there, it wasn't so much what we got on video, because we didn't get shit on video we got some words. Joni says, when I lived in Pennsylvania, I lived near the Bushy Run battlefield. Joni lived near there. Joni, did you know when you were living there, was it haunted? Do you think where you used to live, was there a paranormal activity at your house? I know in, oh, damn, I can't even think of the name now. There was some houses, a cul-de-sac of houses. What the hell's the name? Penn Trafford, yeah. It's Penn Trafford, PA. And every house on that cul-de-sac, it's crazy, had paranormal activity. And I remember going to the one house, and oh my gosh, there wasn't so much activity in the house as much as there was in your yards outside. And then a couple people found out about what we were doing up there. Mish says, could you use a map, explore, and ask questions that way for the areas you can't access? You know what? Thank you for that. I think I will do that. I never did. That's a good idea. Joni says, yes, there was, in the house I lived in was haunted. Thank you for sharing that, Joni. But we're in this cul-de-sac, and we did the one house, and all of a sudden we did 3 or 4 more houses there. But like I said before, it wasn't too much. There wasn't too much in the houses, paranormal activity. The majority was outside of the houses. And this cul-de-sac, Penn Trafford, is like right next door to Bushy Run Battlefield. And so instead of doing the houses, we did the outside of the houses. We came back another night and we got a lot of mist. We got a lot of good orbs. We did get some EVPs, but they weren't good enough to put up. And come to find out, the housing plan that they have with all these houses on this cul-de-sac was recently built. Okay, they're like brand new houses. What's crazy, they were all looking the same. Most of the hauntings, most of the paranormal activity was from the land that the houses were on. A lot of settlers, a lot of Native Americans, a lot of soldiers. Because Penn Trafford is had a lot of Native Americans in there, and there's a lot of Indian burial grounds around up in that area. But doing the outside. So, well, and this is when we were fairly new. I fairly started. But when I finally sat down and realized it wasn't in the houses, it was on the outside, I didn't realize that the settlers were hanging out before the houses were built. And I thought that was like really, really cool. So anywhere up in Penn Trafford, not just that little cul-de-sac where all the brand new the housing plan was at, everything up there was haunted. I mean, I think we went into Greensburg and we did a club there. I forget the name of the club, but it was a club, and we got a lot of good, interesting stuff on, a lot of evidence. You got to forgive me right now the way I'm talking, because I'm not feeling. I got under the weather a little bit, and I'm seriously trying to do my brain and think of the stuff back then. But it was a very interesting area, in a very, very haunted area up there in Penn Trafford. Joni, were you from Penn Trafford? But I don't know. But that all up there had to do with the Revolutionary War. And then you have Fort Pitt. I go down to Fort Pitt all the time. I go to the blockade. And you could just walk Point State Park at night and taking your life into your own hands when you do that. It's not a healthy place to be at night by yourself. But when you walk it, you can just feel the energy. You just feel the energy all around. Oh, Johnny lived right by there. Okay. Thank you, hon. And me and couple other people would just take a walk down there at Point Park and walk around. We didn't take no pictures. We didn't do no EVPs. We just wanted to see what we could feel, hear, or maybe smell. We can smell musket, musket smoke. And we could also hear people talking that weren't there. And believe it or not, they were French. Yes, it was French speaking. So we're down there, and it was a very, very, good investigation. And so was Bushy Run and Fort Pitt. And then, oh gosh, so much. So, so much. I'm sorry. My brain is like freaking, not freaking out. It's just that I'm trying to think here. So because I want to make this a 2-hour show, because I read too quick. But whatever comes out of my mouth comes out of my mouth. And if you hear that dog barking in the back, if you can, that's my neighbor's dog. Now, the Paoli battlefield, located in Malvern, Pennsylvania, the site of the 1777 Paoli massacre, is known for its eerie paranormal activity. During the Battle of the Clouds and the subsequent surprise attack by the British, dozens of Patriot soldiers were brutally slain. The ghost stories here range from disembodied screams and flashes of musketry in the trees to sightings of a headless horseman believed to be one of the soldiers who lost his life in the bloody melee. Then you had the Yorktown battlefield, the climatic siege of Yorktown in 1781 effectively won America its independence today at Surrender Field. Tourists and staff often report hearing the melancholy 18th century tune, "The World Turned Upside Down." Oh, okay, Johnny. Okay. What encouraged me to start PPS? I would be more than happy to tell you. I started PPS back in 2006. It was February, and I went to Gettysburg. By myself. And when I was up there in February, it was cold as hell, but I really enjoyed it. And I did a ghost tour. Okay, my very first walking ghost tour. And I was intrigued. Other people had cameras. I didn't have nothing. Hey, Mark Eddie. Happy 4th to you, too. So I'm up there in February and doing this tour. And I was so intrigued by it that the next day I went out and I bought, 2 of those disposable cameras. And I went out and I started taking pictures. I didn't know what I was going for. I wasn't know what I was, seeing. And I'd go out on the battlefield and I'd just start taking pictures, seeing if I pick up anything. And I didn't. I didn't pick up a damn thing. But it was intriguing to me. And so when I got home, March 6th, 2006, March 6th, I was at a restaurant called Eaton Park. And I was looking online, and it was about, there was like an app or a group out there. It was called meetup.com. I don't know if anybody heard about it, meetup.com. And I put an ad on there about going ghost hunting. Yes. And see, at that time, TAP's been on a year, and paranormal groups, paranormal investigation wasn't so big. It was in its infancy. So, in March 2006, Eaton Park, I put it out, and I got like 15 to 20 replies that wanted to do it. And I was like, oh, wow, this is cool. But I didn't know what to do. I didn't know where to go. And so I searched the internet of some, haunted areas. And the very first place I went to was Blue Mist Road. And I still go there. I kept reading about Blue Mist Road. And we finally got to go there. There was about 15 of us that went. And we're walking down this road. And we started taking pictures. And then I wasn't really fully in tune with the gifts that I had back then. Okay. But as the farther we walked down into, the darker the path got. And I was just struck. I was insanely struck about ghost hunting, and everybody else was too. And that's how we started, Johnny. Just a little ad on meetup.com to go ghost hunting. And then after a couple of times up Blue Mist, I remember going to Blue Mist every week. Hey, Buck Brown, good to see you, brother. And we did Blue Mist Road all the time until we finally figured out that I could go into cemeteries. And we started to do cemeteries. Now, I know we never got kicked out of a cemetery, but I always went to the cemetery to get permission to go. And the Catholic diocesan who runs some of the cemeteries here in Pittsburgh, okay, they have what you call open gated cemeteries, which means they're not locked in. And you can go in anytime you want. But I also made sure that I would get permission just to be on the safe side. And then I would call the police department of that area and tell them what we will be doing, just so I don't get in trouble. I think getting caught by the police one time, we were up in North Versailles, PA. And the cemetery was right on the corner. And what was crazy about this cemetery, in fact, back to the story real quick, the police were really cool about it. They were giving us some places to investigate up there in North Versailles. But a lot of drug addicts were up there. A lot of guys and kids did drugs in that area. So that's why the police came, because people called and they were wondering, they were scared. And I don't blame them a bit. I would be. But what is so cool, this cemetery was so old that the majority of the people there were buried in wooden coffins, wood coffins. And what would happen over time, the wooden coffins would start sinking, okay, would start sinking down. And you could actually look at the ground and you can actually see the coffin sinking because it has the outline of the coffin. They weren't built back then, like they build them now. But that's how I started, Johnny. Put a little ad up, and by October, I finally got my crew together. And what else was nice about it was that it gave me an idea who really enjoys paranormal investigating, who don't. It's boring. Like I said, Taps was at the beginning, start, and everybody just watched Taps. Everybody watched and watched and watched Taps. And everybody thought it would be so cool to go on a ghost hunt, to belong to a paranormal group, that when they finally realized all you do is sit on your ass and don't do a damn thing, they got bored, especially the young ones. They would maybe do one or two, and then they would never come back. Reason being, they'd rather be doing something eventful than just sitting on their asses in the middle of a field or the middle of a cemetery talking to something that might not be there. That is the truth. And then by October, I had my group and I did a house. I had a client. My first client was down in Elizabeth, PA. And today she's a very dear friend of mine. And we did the house and we got a lot of cool stuff. Oh my God, it was cool. We got she has this, like, it's called Marina. I don't want to give the name out because I don't know if she's still doing it. But in her house was right on the river, right on the Mon River. And she used to dock boats there. But in her back 40, it was so freaking haunted. Oh my God, it was crazy. We got all kinds of evidence back there. And her house also, in her cellar, was part of the Underground Railroad. So, make a long story short, we were at her house, okay, and we investigated it. And after that, it was nonstop. We were doing 2-3 weeks investigations a week, 2 to 3 a week, and we weren't going to places where you had to pay money. We were going to different houses. We never advertised, never did. It was all done by word of mouth. And it just kept going and going and going. And we did 2 to 3 a week for a very long time. And we got to help customers out. We got to help clients out. We got to help them understand why spirits are in their house. And PPS, Pittsburgh Paranormal Society, just took off. It just took off. And I'm very grateful for that because I wouldn't be here today talking to you guys. I mean, doing all them investigations back when we started, it was like a learning curve. It was learning for me. And each time I went out on an investigation, I learned a lot more. I wasn't really too thrilled about the equipment because I was usually using my gifts that I was given. But at that time, you had your scientific people, then you had your spiritual people, okay? In the scientific people, thank you, sweetie. Heidi says she rep a PPS t-shirt for half the day. Thank you, dear. And we always fought. We always fought the spiritual side and the scientific side. And I couldn't understand why. Representative, thank you, dear. And I couldn't understand why we just couldn't come to one conclusion because I truly believe, and I still believe to this day, okay, that instead of the scientific people doing it their way and fighting with the people who are spiritual, why not come together and work together and come up with the same answers? But it never happened, you know. But the equipment that I did use back then, I'm old school, and I know a lot of old school people too. Okay, I had a K2 meter, I had an EVP, a digital voice recorder, and a camera, 12 megapixel camera. And I was proud of myself with the camera because when I started, they only had 4 pixelated cameras. And as a year or two went by, then they came out with the 12. Then they came out with the 18. And it just started. It just means a clearer picture. Now, the video that we caught, I don't know if anybody remembers. I know Buckwood, the old uh, video cameras where you had to put it on your shoulder, and you had to use a VHS tape in order to tape on it. Yeah, that's how old it was. Now you can do it off your phone. But we had fun. I learned a lot. And I did a lot of houses. And I had a lot of clients. And from 2006 to 2022, I had Pittsburgh Paranormal Society. In 2022, I dropped it because it was just getting too old for me. I was just getting too old for it, you know. And there was, when I started off, there was clashes between orbs and no orbs, scientific and non-scientific. But the biggest thing that was going on were egos. There was a lot of different groups that had egos, and their egos, they wanted to be the best top paranormal, team actor in the city of Pittsburgh. And it just caused a lot of bullshit. Then I noticed back in 2022, when I dropped the group, that it was coming back again. Tons of egos. I didn't want to deal with that. Plus, I was tired of doing it. But back to the Yorktown battle. I hope that helped you out a little bit there, Johnny. Yeah, Eaton Park's still here, honey. They got expensive, Eaton Park. And everybody, Eaton Park is a restaurant here in Pittsburgh. It's a restaurant chain. And they have no affiliation with my show or UPR and Talk Radio. They don't. So, but they got expensive, Johnny. Extremely. I got a quart of soup for $7.99 and a quart of chili for $7. Came out to $17, Johnny, for a quart of soup and a quart of freaking chili. Oh, thank you, Johnny. Thank you. But back to the Yorktown battlefield. I'm going to read it again. The climatic siege of Yorktown in 1781 effectively won America its independence. Today at Surrender Field, tourists and staff often report hearing the melancholy 18th century tune, "The World Turned Upside Down," playing faintly when no musicians or radios are nearby. Others reported phenomena include the sound of a phantom cannon fire, disembodied shouting, and full-bodied apparitions of colonial soldiers walking the trenches. Hey, Cindy, good to see you, hon. All right, where are we at? The Monmouth Battlefield. It's a state park. During the Battle of Monmouth in New Jersey in 1778, a soldier famously took a break on a tombstone only to be hit by a stray cannonball that sheared off his leg. He was carried into the nearby Old Tennant Church and died. To this day, visitors and paranormal investigators have reported seeing the spectral wounded soldier wandering the grounds of the church and the surrounding battlefield at night. That is freaking awesome. I cannot wait till to retire, because you know where I'm going to go. Well, we are at the top of the hour. Okay, everybody. We're going to go on a short break again and come back, and we will continue with the show.
control. Your light is gone, and lonely darkness fill my soul. I wish that you could save me from my isolation. It's way too complicated. Let's start this conversation. Let's start this conversation. We got no relation.
Oh, hold on.
Welcome to Don't Whistle at Night podcast, where Navajo legends echo in the shadows. Darren and Dawn will guide you through the sacred fire of Native storytelling, where the old stories breathe, the unknown walks among us, and voices, long hidden, rise to be heard. And remember, don't whistle at night.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. Kevin, how are you? He said night all. Is he leaving again? Oh, my gosh. Kevin, hang around, buddy. Yes. So welcome back to Into the Night with me, your host, Sean Kelly. And we were talking about some of the haunted battlefields. Thank you, Heidi. We were talking about some of the haunted battlefields of the American Revolution. And I guess if in conclusion with that, or by, I don't know, did he leave or what? I don't know. Maybe he couldn't get on. I hope he's okay. Kevin, I hope you're okay, buddy. But my conclusion of all the battlefields of the Revolutionary War that I taught, to what? Okay, at least you're still here, Kevin. That's all that matters. Happy Canada Day to you, Kevin. Oh, the 2-hour show. Told you. Told you. How long have you known me now, Kevin? How long have you known two-hour shows on Sundays? So I'll let you go. It's not me you have to worry about. It's all the girls in there. Mish, Heidi, Kara, everybody, man. They're wondering where the hell you've been. I mean, seriously, dude. It's them you got to watch out for. I'm out of this one. But back to the Revolutionary War battlefields, it's just like any other typical battlefields, you know? And I'm sure there's more stories behind it, and I'm sure there's a lot more ghosts that people don't realize that hang around there. But you know what? The only way, yeah, they were summoning you, Heidi. I mean, Kevin, they were like doing some mojo shit, you know, in the chat room, summoning you. Yeah, it was mojo stuff. But I could feel my soul being pulled to Heidi and Mish because they were throwing mojo energy at it. But back to the show again. But the only way I'm going to find out, or any way that you are going to find out, is by going to the places. And you know, I realized something too. Between the Revolutionary War and the Civil War, Everything happened on the East Coast. Everything. And all the wars, all the big battles happened on the East Coast. And the more I looked at, I did a little, maybe a day of research in the Revolutionary War. Pennsylvania's seen a lot of freaking wars. All the battlefields from the Revolution War. And the Battle of Gettysburg, which is the warmer side, east or west. I would have to say the West Coast, Mitch. That would be California, Oregon, Washington State. It rains all the time over there. But the warmer side would be the West Coast. East Coast, it's cold. But, I catch my breath here. So when I retire, I am going to go to the Revolutionary battlefields, and I am going to investigate them, and see if I could put it into my repertoire. I think that's the word to say, the repertoire. But now here are some of the important paranormal ghosts that were big in the American Revolution. The haunting tales from the American Revolution include the specter of Major John Andre, whose horse hoofbeats famously echo in Tarrytown, New York, where the British spy was captured. These stories help inspire Washington Irving's immortal The Legend of Sleepy Hollow, featuring the ghostly Hessian trooper. See, I didn't know that. I didn't know Washington. I know Washington Irving wrote it, but I didn't know he based it off the specter of Major John Andre. That's pretty interesting. I know for a fact that's up there, the legend of Sleepy Hollow, New York. I just didn't know the name of it. It's called Tarrytown. Other prominent paranormal legends and ghosts that emerged from the Revolutionary War era included General Mad Anthony Wayne, the fiery Revolutionary War hero, died in 1796, and his body was infamously boiled to easily transport his bones from Erie, Pennsylvania to southeastern Pennsylvania. Legend insists that his ghost wanders U.S. Route 322 on New Year's Day, searching for the bones that fell out of the wagon during the journey. That would be a freaking awesome story. But you know what? I have better things to do on New Year's Day than going on Route 322 to find a ghost. Couldn't do it. And then the Screaming Lady of Fort Mifflin. Located in Philadelphia, Fort Mifflin saw heavy casualties during a grueling 1777 British siege. The loudest apparition at the fort is an unseen screaming lady who walls in the old officers' quarters, living out an eternity of regret. Interesting. These are like really interesting things here. The ghost of Major John Pitcairn, a British Marine commander who led troops at Lexington and Bunker Hill. Pitcairn was killed in 1775. Though buried in Boston, rumors quickly spread that his spirit haunted American history and his body was secretly transported back to England. Now, this John Pitcairn, okay, now I'm not sure about the history, but out near Monroeville, there's a little borough called Pitcairn, and I just wondering if they named Pitcairn after this dude. You know what I mean? I don't know. Then there's one more ghost. Okay, it's called Jack. His name is Jackie Custis at Yorktown. He was George Washington's stepson. John Park Custis served as a civilian aide de camp, but tragically died of camp fever at the age of 28 during the climatic siege of Yorktown. Visitors to the surrender field claimed to see his frantic figure running through the grounds, still calling out for his stepfather's approval. They have a thing here, a link to go to Surrender Field. I saw this a couple of times. Okay, now there's some stuff here, like it says here, the 8 of the most haunted American Revolution sites in Virginia. The Nelson House is in Yorktown. Roswell Ruins, Gloucestershire. Surrender Field, Yorktown. There have been numerous reports of unexplained phenomenon, including spectral soldiers, cannon fire, and disembodied voices at Surrender Field in Yorktown. This is the site where the British forces officially surrendered to the Continental Army, marking the end of the war. During the ceremony, the British band played the melancholy tune, "The World Turned Upside Down," a symbolic choice for a defeated empire. Tourists visiting in modern times have reported hearing that very song drifting through the air, sometimes for hours at a time, even when no musicians are present. Among the apparitions spotted, one goes to believe that Custis, George Washington's troubled stepson, known as Jackie, he had a reputation for being privileged, impulsive, and unreliable. Hoping to earn his stepfather's respect, Jackie joined the Continental Army during the final campaign at Yorktown. The reality of the brutal conditions came to a shock to Jackie, and surrounded by war, disease, and bloodshed, he fell gravely ill and died at just 28 years old. Visitors to Surrender Field claimed to see a frantic figure running through the fields. And so I finally realize and understand right now that Surrender Field is the Yorktown, the last battle of the Revolutionary War. Okay, and I know I looked up some other stuff here. Okay, what's this one here? Okay, yep, there's 3 more here. But the Bushy Run battlefield in Westmoreland County, Pennsylvania, is reputedly haunted by the spirits of Native American warriors who were killed during the Battle of Bushy Run on August 5th and 6th, 1763. Restless warriors, Native American soldiers from allied Delaware, Shawnee, Mingo, and Huron nations are said to still roam the grounds. Active hauntings reports suggest that these spirits wander the battlefield and can sometimes follow visitors. The Paranormal Investigations, the site is considered haunted in the Northern Appalachian Paranormal Society, NAPS. Yeah, I know the dude that runs that Northern Appalachian. He's pretty cool, and his group is legit. So if you hear of NAPS, Whatever you hear from them, they're legit, man. They're like one of that. They are good. That's a good group to follow if you can. So, in conclusion, okay, in conclusion of this, no matter where you go, no matter if it's a suicide place, if it's a where someone committed suicide, doesn't matter if somebody got killed, a major battlefields, there's going to be ghosts and there's going to be spirits. The reason why I choose, the Revolutionary War is because the United States of America celebrated 250 years old. And that's by winning the war from the British. And that's why I picked today's topic about what we're talking about tonight. But I'm going to repeat a little bit what I thought of what I said at the beginning of my show, since there are some newcomers that come in. Oh, Kevin, you're finally saying it, huh? Hi, Sean. Hi, Heidi. Hi, Mish. By time, man, you had them girls stomping their feet and like they were probably snapping their fingers at you, Kevin, like saying, yeah, it's good to see you, Kevin. But 250 years ago, we beat the British in our United States, the colonies, won our freedom. We were under no other king. We won our freedom. And so for all the people that can do whatever in the hell they want to do, if it wasn't for us fighting in that Revolutionary War, we would be under, and lost, we would be under the king. We would be British. We wouldn't be Americans. And I'm happy I'm an American. But you had to, I mean, the people who, oh, I know what I wanted to say. So in Washington, D.C., they have the Washington Mall. There's 50 different areas, uh, 50 different places where each state can put like relics and stuff and talk about their state. Now, Josh Shapiro, our our governor, decided not to do anything about it. He said, nah, it's going to cost the taxpayers a lot of money. And we just have no time at all to put anything in there. Well, the two senators, a Democratic one and a Republican one, got together and they took over the show. And what I have seen our room, what I've seen of the Pennsylvania room, they have like everything in there that represents Pennsylvania. Because Pennsylvania was huge back then during the colonies. They were like one of the original 13 colonies. Now, there was a lot of states that put something in there, but there was like 17 of them. Kevin says he's on the East Coast. Go figure. Yeah, you're freezing up there. But there were some states that didn't put nothing up because they didn't want to do it. And to me, you had 6,300 guys die for your freedom, and then people don't want to do nothing about it. You have people out there that are destroying the Constitution. For what? 6,300 guys fucking died. so you could be free. And you don't want to do nothing about it. You're not proud of it. That don't mean that's a bunch of horse crap. I don't know. But I just lost a lot of people when I started talking about that. So I'm done. I don't know if I'll get them back. That's why I can't talk politics on my show. All I know is that we won 250 years ago, and we are a free country. And that's all that matters. That's all what matters. We are free. And everything is done. Everything is just okay. Some parts of it. But I guess right now we're in the learning curve, and who knows what's going to happen down the road. I'm not a psychic. I can't predict futures. I can tell you right now, I'm proud to be an American. I am. And when I hear the song, God Bless America, I heard it last night and I cried. Or when I hear the Star Spangled Banner, I cry. It just gives me not sad feelings, but a cry of joy. I don't care where I'm at. When I hear the songs, I cry. And I'm okay with that. But God Bless America gets me all the time. It's a beautiful song. It's a lovely song. And then with all the fireworks going off last night everywhere, if you have the opportunity, everybody, go to YouTube and watch the city of Pittsburgh's fireworks display. It was rated #1 this year of all the fireworks display. Now, another little tidbit about the 4th of July. Okay. Most of the fireworks that you see all over the place that are on the news, there's a little small company up in Newcastle, PA. And again, they are not affiliated with UPRN Talk Radio or my show. They're not affiliated. But they're called the Zambelli Brothers. The Zambellis. And they've been doing fireworks for years and years and years and years and years. Heidi says the city did a drone show right before fireworks here. Richard Estep posted the drones. Okay. I think that's really cool with the drones. That is so neat how they do that. That is like really cool. But the city, fireworks are huge here in Pittsburgh. But yeah, it's a little town up there in Newcastle, a little company that makes fireworks for all over the world. In fact, I do believe the Chinese come over here to get, some advice. They get some advice from the Zambelli brothers. Yeah. And the Zambellis go over to China and they get some advice on how to do fireworks. Heidi says she don't know, but there is a drone school here. Oh, cool. Maybe I'm in the wrong business, Heidi. Maybe I should have, been born in the 21st century. All kinds of cool shit's coming up now. But we are at the bottom of the hour, everybody. And you know what that means. Kara says, I'm sorry I missed out on so much of this, but I will rewatch it later. Been dealing with some issues at home. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Kara. Honestly. I hope everything is doing okay. Big hearts like that. Kevin says, I am proud to be on Earth. LOL. Oh, Canada, our home and native land. I watched fireworks from my veranda and took pics. Whoop, whoop. I am certainly located on Water Street here. don't have to deal with what's going on. But we're going to go on a little quick break, just a little quick one now, and we'll be back, and then it will be time. We'll wrap up the show, and it will be that time to pull some cards. Okay? So, on that note, we will see you, or I will see you, in a couple minutes.
The night has come, it's cold and losing my control. Your light is gone, and lonely darkness fill my soul. I wish that you could save me from my isolation. It's way too complicated. Let's start this conversation. Let's start this conversation. We got no relation.
Hi, and welcome everyone to Ethereal Encounters Unveiled. Today we are broadcasting live on the United Public Radio Network and the UFO Paranormal Radio Network, 105.3 on the Gulf Coast and 107.7 FM in beautiful New Orleans.
Welcome to Don't Whistle at Night podcast, where Navajo legends echo in the shadows. Darren and Dawn will guide you through the sacred fire of native storytelling, where the old stories breathe, the unknown walks among us, and voices, long hidden, rise to be heard. And remember, don't whistle at night.
Hey, welcome back to the last half hour of the show. The first hour and a half was a great one. We talked about the United States. Happy birthday, 250 years old. The revolutionary battlefields and all the paranormal activity and all the paranormal ghosts, all the ghostesses that got. Thank you, Heidi. And I just want to say that I really did enjoy, the topic tonight. Now, this is the last half hour, and you know what that means. I'm going to pull cards, but not just yet. Okay. And I I just want to say that yes, and this might sound, um, you know, like a repeat on everybody. Thank you, Kevin, and happy Canada Day to you all. Um, but I am so proud to be an American. I am so proud to be a patriot of this beautiful, loving country that I have, that I live in. And I have to give thanks for the 60 to 6,300 guys that died during this war so I could get where I'm at. And please, everybody out there, if you can, say a little prayer for the soldiers, and not so much the Revolutionary War, but all the military people out there, all the men and women out there, my brothers and sisters who have passed away and who are in there now. And it's just not, the U.S. military. I'm talking the Canadians. I'm talking the Australians. I'm talking all the countries and their military personnel. We got to give every country, a little prayer and thanking them for protecting their countries, just like our guys did back 250 years ago. Yes. Again, I am proud to be an American. And without further ado, everybody, I just want a little reminder that I am on UPRN Talk Radio 105.3 Mississippi, 107.7 New Orleans. And let's see what else. There's a lot of hosts out here on this. Well, Kenneth says, thanks, 179 years, I believe, July 1st for Canada. Yes, positive appreciation for all who served. That is so true, Kevin. Absolutely, 100%. 100%. But like I was talking about all the hosts on here, every one of those things that you saw, every one of those promos are the shows, the different shows that are on this platform. And there's a lot more. You got C.L. Thomas's The Gateway Podcast. You got Dawn and Darren Yazzie, um, Don't Whistle at Night. That's on Saturday nights. And then you got News on the Flip Side with Joe, Jay, and me. And then you got The Chat, which is the number one show on Saturday nights from 7 p.m., 10 p.m. Eastern, And then you got Michelle DeRoche with The Outer Realm. And there's just so many wonderful hosts on here. With so many wonderful hosts and so many wonderful shows. Okay, so if you are bored during the week and you're getting tired of watching reruns and you're tired of listening to all the bullcrap news out there in the world, please tune in to UPRN Talk Radio and just listen to all the different shows that are on here. And also, there are some times and I know there are some shows that are on in the afternoon too. So we're we're a very busy platform with all kinds of different people, all kinds of different shows. And the host on here, I consider my family. Okay. And no doubt about it. But it's that time, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. I got the cards. We're going to do a little reading tonight. Okay. I figure, I was like, saying, why don't I just pull one card? And then I said, what the hell? I might as well pull. Kevin says, yes, I'm sorry. The Angel Rock, Spirit Switchboard, Refuel Encounters, and so many more. It's busy indeed. Love it, Kevin. Love it. I love it too. Thank you. If anybody else knows any other shows, feel free to put them in the chat. If you want a really good platform to learn a lot about everything, this is the platform for you guys. So, I was debating on whether just pulling one card or doing a reading. So I flipped a quarter, heads, one card, tails. It would be a little reading. And it came up tails. So I guess we're going to do a little reading here. So as everybody knows, I pull cards, and it's a little reading. It could be for everybody. It might not even be for you, but you might get something out of it. Heidi says paranormal insight. Yep, paranormal heart, paranormal, paratruth reborn. Yes, you have it all here, guys, ladies and gentlemen. You have it all here. So, okay, so I'm going to do the reading, and everybody knows that when I pull cards, it's a reading. It might be for you, it might not be for you. If you want to, if you start getting lost, write the animals down that I pull, okay? And you can go and look them up yourself on Google and know, and see what that animal is about. So I just got done shoveling. I'm going to cut them. Okay. I don't know, Heidi, but I think this one's for you because I keep hearing your name. Okay. I don't know why. It might be for Heidi. It might not be for Heidi, but for some reason, this one's going for Heidi. So the first card I pick up is the raccoon. Okay, the raccoon in the past. And if you look at, they're bandits, man. They're sneaky. They're sneaky. Okay, they go around and they eat a lot of fish, and they look like bandits. Don't worry, you can always look it back now. Okay, I'm glad you're here. But so the raccoon, just is like to me, he's like a badger, like a honey badger. And they have hands too, and then they can like duke it out. I was very defensive. The raccoon, to me, when I look at this card, is very, very defensive, right? And it's like you're protecting somebody from other people. Okay, you are protecting. Raccoon centers on adaptability, curiosity, and hidden truths. That's probably it, Heidi. But when I see this raccoon, I'm looking at it's like defending its family, defending or fighting off intruders. The claws, yeah, man, them claws can rip things apart. But when I look at the raccoon, okay, that's what I'm seeing, a defense mechanism, like you're protecting a family of some sort. Then the next is the buffalo, okay, the buffalo. All right, so this is the now card. Now with the buffalo, I see that you are absorbing all kinds of energy. You're absorbing all kinds of information, okay? You're big, you're bad, and you eat grass, you know. And for how big you are, okay, just like the whale, you store a lot of information in, but you mosey around like I'm the badass and no one's going to mess with me. So there you go. So with the raccoon protecting your family, you got the buffalo coming in, and it's like, okay, people, try me. Try me. I will knock your ass out if I have to. Heidi said buffalo is a powerful spiritual symbol of abundance, strength, and gratitude. Okay. Now, I see the strength in this, but, in the gratitude. But, man, I'm telling you what, with the raccoon, you're defending your family. And then the buffalo pops in, and it's like you grew from a raccoon to a buffalo. And you're just looking at the people like, keep going, and I'm just going to butt you into next year or into the next universe, whatever. To me, it's not a defensive card. Your defensive card was the raccoon, but the buffalo is saying, try me, boy. I'll show you. Then you got, wow, look at this. This is crazy. Then you got the elk. Okay. You got the elk card. And that's the future. Same way with the elk. It's huge. And it's got like antlers that are huge. And of course, they eat green stuff. Hey, Joe Fox, good to see you. And so with the elk of the future, whatever the buffalo, does, you're like, check it out, Heidi, after you get all 1% up. But with the elk, okay, so with this elk, okay, so So the buffalo is like, come on, I'm going to kick your ass. And the elk is right behind that buffalo saying, all right, you get through this buffalo, dude, you're going to have to deal with me, and the elk don't play, you know what I mean? Moseys around just like the buffalo, but this one has antlers that will just rip you apart to rip to your shed because the elk are big, man. They are huge and also family orientated. This is like really really cool because if you look also at this reading, the raccoon you're protecting the family, the buffalo's family, and the elk is really big on family. So to me, when I'm looking at this reading so far, basically what I'm saying is that you guys are all out there, or whoever this reading is for, is protecting your family from something that is not good going on in your lives right now. And okay, so I pulled the armadillo, right? And maybe you decided to get a little nervous and you got a little scared. Okay, and some people made it through the buffalo and the elk, right? But now you become the armadillo. Uh, and So you're the armadillo. And so what happens is, okay, you get nervous because people snuck through and they're really, causing some bullshit with you and your family, and you get scared. And it's okay to be scared. So what does an armadillo do? It curls up into a ball with its armor. So you're protecting yourself. Or you're protecting your family through the armadillo shell. You know what I mean? But this is all about family. This is all about protecting family, this reading. Okay. And the last card, oh my gosh, guys, this is crazy. And the last card I pull is the bear. Okay. This is the bear. And the bear is introspection. Okay. It thinks within. And the bear, okay, come on now. All right. So you got to deal with the raccoon, right? You have to deal with them, and they're doing everything in their power to protect their family. Then you run into the buffalo, who's big, bad, and can knock your ass into another dimension if you piss it off. Okay. Then if you get through, the buffalo, yeah, I saw that, Kevin. And now that you got through the bear, I'm sorry, you got through the buffalo. Now you go through the elk, and that elk is huge. Okay. And it got antlers that could probably kick you further outside the universe. Who knows, whatever. I mean, look at all these big ass cards that have been pulled. Okay. And the armadillo. Okay. So what? It curled up in the ball. And that's basically you're protecting your family. And then you come to the bear. Okay. And the bear thinks within, it hibernates. Okay. And it came out of its hibernation. Oh, okay, Sherry, thank you. Okay. But the bear comes out of hibernation and he's seeing all this shit happen, and especially with the cubs that she has. And it's like, okay, you go near them cubs, you're done. So the bear is saying, okay, so bear has her little family, and you go and attack her cubs, you know, you're dead, man. You're dead. Whatever you are, you're dead. Okay. So this reading tonight has to do with family, protecting your family, because family is very important. And the way the world's going now, and the way the world goes now, we need our family. And they say, and it's kind of sad that, you have blood relatives, but a lot of us do not, you know, um, don't get along, which is kind of sad, you know. But blood is blood. But to me, my people here, my people, Sherry, Kevin, Heidi, Kara, Joni, everybody, Carrie, Cindy, I'm closer to you than most of my family members. Everybody that follows my show, okay, you're my family. Also, you're my guardian angels, but you're my family. That's the way I look at you guys. That's how I feel about it. Oh, Mish, sorry. Oh, sorry, Mish. Sorry about that. I feel bad now. Mish put non-blood family too. Exactly, Sean. Sorry about that, Mish. You're like up there. You're like you're part of my family too, Mish. I'm sorry. Now she made me feel guilty. Do you see what this Mish lady, my friend Mish, my family Mish, she lives all the way over there in Australia, and she knows how to put a guilt trip on me. That's funny. That's funny. But yes, everybody that comes and follows me, right? They're my family. And I am so honored to be part of your family. And also, all the hosts that host shows on UPRN, they're my family too. So we might not do family things, but I know I can trust every single one of you. Absolutely. No doubt about it. That's right, Kevin. UPRN family. And I'm proud to be part of it. So, again, the reading tonight is about protecting your family. I mean, you go through the buffalo, then you go through the elk, and then you got to deal with the bear at the end. No one's touching the family. No one. Well, I hope this reading was okay for you. You know what? The hell of it, I'm going to draw one more. And it's the raven. That's crazy. That's raven. It's not crazy. I guess that's the way the cards are supposed to be pulled. But the raven, black magic, or the messenger, or whatever. Oh, it just popped into my head. Okay, and I'm not bullshitting y'all. It just popped into my head. The raven is the messenger. And so for whoever reading who this reading was for and pulling a raven, that raven is sending the message to the people who screwing with your family, saying you better back off or else you're going to get your ass kicked. And that's what that is. That's why the raven was pulled. Okay. United we stand. Raven is a messenger. And the message is family, yes. And it's true. So that poor little raccoon fighting for her life, for her family. And then she got the raven going through all that. And then you got the raven at the end sending that message back to the assholes for creating a lot of bullshit with your family. Excuse my language, but that's how I run. That's how I read. But thank you, everybody, for coming in tonight, listening to the show. I hope everybody enjoyed it. Thank you, Kevin. And I hope you learned a little bit about the Revolutionary War and the ghosts on the battlefields and the ghosts that do hunt the battlefields. But I just want to thank everybody in the 160 different countries out there who listen to my show on Sunday and Tuesday nights. Thank you. I truly appreciate it very, very much. Children, if you can, please go to your parents, give them a hug, and tell them that you love them. And parents, please go to your children, give them a hug, and tell them that you love them. And if you have no parents, and if you have no children, find someone, give them a hug, and tell them that you love them. Because those 3 words, I love you, go a long way. And please remember, protect the children. Now, on that note, good night, everybody. Have a safe sleep, a nice dreams, and I will definitely see you Tuesday night. Good night.